Detroit, 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 Detroit is different. Detroit is different. Detroit, Detroit, different. Detroit is different. Detroit is different.
Get this going. Welcome back to the Detroit is Different podcast studios. And in studio, I have a guest that definitely is a friend to Detroit is Different. He's been on here before and really extended family because he is family of the good brother, Mr. Sterling Toes. But when we think of New York, you think of Detroit, a connection that has definitely been made through many different facets of culture and other things. Mr. Keir Worthy, how are you doing today?
Oh, man, always glad to be here, man.
Yes, sir.
It's like, was it a biannual, multiple-year pilgrimage here at
man.
times?
Yeah.
I love it though, and I'm so happy and proud to see what you've done from the inception to now. You know.
Yeah, man. It's been this is 11 years in.
Wow, really? Okay.
It's been 11 years and many iterations, and you were part of some of the foundation of a lot of what it was.
I remember that. You know, you were kind of trying to figure out which way to go. Whether you're still going to go the artist route or you're going to go another route. But it was definitely media oriented.
Yeah.
You finally decided, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
But you've done it and you provided incredible service to the community.
Thank you. And when we talk about community and culture, that's definitely you too. You're from Detroit, but New York has also taken your heart in many ways. So
it's been home for a while now.
Yeah, man. So I guess let's kind of start with some of what's happening just through culture. What are you working on now most?
Wow. A lot. You know, our conversation leading up to this was, I was like kind of exuberant about a number of things that have been happening, especially here in Detroit. You know, of course, the world is kind of looking at Detroit now, finally, right? As though it's sprouted another head of something brand new. But, you have a lot of people who've been here doing their thing for a long time.
Yeah.
So over the past few months, I was involved in Crain's annual homecoming that they do.
What was your role with, so for people that know, Crain's welcomes a Detroit homecoming that is a welcome back event for a lot of people that travel to different places. And really it's looking to get people that have those Detroit roots to like reconnect with Detroit.
Exactly.
And this has been happening for a couple years now. What was your role
Actually,
in
this is year, was it 12?
Yeah.
12, 13, something like that. It's been an event that they've been doing to get people from, they call us expats, people who are from Detroit and have Detroit connections that are living in other places, to get them re-engaged with the city on a few different pillars, whether it be philanthropy and nonprofits, whether it's education, real estate, entertainment, and the arts, culture, that sort of thing. So I've been sort of an ambassador the last couple of years or so. I've been involved with about 5 or 6 years now in general.
Okay, what was the first, like, let's go back to the beginning of it. When was the first connection you made, and what made you say, okay, I want to be in the mix of this?
The first connection I made, now, my organization, the Organization of Black Designers, myself and the chairman, David Rice, both went to our first one together. Had to be about, maybe 2016, 2017, something like that.
So this is pre-pandemic too.
Pre-pandemic, yeah, definitely. We got connected to it by Olga Stella, who at the time was at Detroit Design Corps. She was heading up Detroit Design Corps, and now she's over at CCS. And I dealt with Crain's before. Because we did our conference, our OBD conference, Design Nation conference in Detroit in 2010. Right at the start, right before, Design Week started and Design Month started, we always saw Detroit's design potential and design activity. And, so we did our Design Nation conference here. And in doing that, we connected with Crain's because they did a story on us. So I knew Mary Kramer and a few of the people at Crain's magazine. So it was a really good connection. And we attended the event. It was a really good event. And, we went perpetually. And I saw the value in being able to reach out to people that I knew within my network
Mm-hmm.
that may not have known about the event, and they need to be re-engaged with the city, because we want the city to look. We want the event to look like the city.
Mm-hmm.
And we also want people who are very much involved in Detroit in the early days before the hoopla started again to be back and be a part of this resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the hook for me.
Okay. All right. So since then, you said for about 5 years, what have been some of the things you've done with the homecoming, as far as like offering more anything? I think, like I say, definitely culture, but it's business, it's cultural business,
Right.
that you have become an expert in, just connecting with music, design, artistry, fashion, film, many things, many things. What has been like what has been where you see your lane, having something offering to homecoming week, and then also
Right.
homecoming week, like really embracing some of the lens in which you see it?
Well, I think first has been the personnel, bringing people in who've been very talented, very engaged with the city.
Mhm.
I've got friends who've come now. They're like, I'm moving to Detroit.
Wow.
Or I'm buying property in Detroit. Or they've started buying property in Detroit. Or they've connected with some organizations here. So that's been a really good thing. I guess one of the highlights for me last year, they were like, hey, we really thank you for helping us kind of have the look of the event match the look of the city culturally,
Mm-hmm.
So that was really good. Working on doing some other things with some of the business that are involved, working on bringing in more businesses. It was like I said, it was very much on the connect. Oh, one of the things that we did year before last, we did a pre-homecoming event in New York.
Okay.
And they also did one in Chicago, and another. I think we want to maybe hopefully do that again
Okay.
in maybe 4 or 5 other cities where we're engaging with those expats early on
Mm-hmm.
to kind of, raise the interest and knowledge and like, okay, so, we come and see you in February or March.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I got to be there in September because that's when it happens every September. So yeah, I'm very excited at how it went this year. I had there were probably about 7 or 8 people I had in from out of town that I was chaperoning personally.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really, really a good event.
Okay. And I guess the other key question when we think about this is, the relationship of a lot of the people that you bring. Are they people that, I often say you can visit a city, living in a city is different. What's been some of the relationships just with those 7 that came? How often were they already coming back to Detroit, and what was their relationship with some of the business sectors and just like, I guess, some of the institutions that were involved with homecoming?
Right. Well, a couple of them had never been, they had been before. But they hadn't lived in Detroit, but they'd been, and they had some connections, or maybe there was some distant family here.
Mm-hmm.
And they had been hearing, like one of my guys, buddy of mine, David Gossett, who I've known for decades. Dave used to be Russell's intern when I was working with Def Jam, right? He went on to become A&R he's the person that signed in A&R Black Sheep, their first epic album. So I've been talking to Dave. He had been in Detroit before, but not in depth. And I was like, and he was very interested in some of the stories he said. I was like, look, I've been trying to get him here for years, just in general, because that's my guy, right?
Yeah.
So a friend of his had come to the Clarissa Shields fight.
Yeah, the one this past summer?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Low season.
I get a call. He's like, man, I'm coming to the D. I gotta be there. My homegirl went and they were over the moon. Yeah. And she actually came back while he was here for homecoming. Mm-hmm. She came back to hang out also.
Okay.
So, I'm glad people are getting a chance to see what we've always known about Detroit. Mm-hmm. That it's not only interesting and topical and the people are very hospitable and genuinely.
Yeah.
And just the depth of culture and activity here. People got a chance to see that firsthand. Mm-hmm. And it's a wonderful thing. But like I said, these are things that we always knew existed. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of getting a spotlight now. So.
Okay. All right. So like, I guess in that, now I guess I got to look at it from a New York lens. The pandemic had a lot of impacts on many cities
sure.
and many regions and everything. I think LA and New York have definitely shifted the most when I interact with a lot of the people I know in both places. What's happening culturally, just on that beat of New York right now? I know New York still has a New York feel, but what have you seen shift?
Capital. It's become the billionaire playground now. A lot of people are unfortunately getting pushed out in a lot of ways. The financial aspect of it was a big term. Now what the pandemic did, it brought the cost down a little bit, right? And there was a lot of attrition, a lot of exodus. People are like, I'm out of here. I'm going. If they're fortunate enough, they had a second home or whatever, never home, or they decide to go back to their hometown. And, people want to reconnect with their friends and family more. That does that to you. So that shifted the landscape quite a bit. But now, in a lot of ways, it's kind of back to business as usual in some respects. We're trying to bring in more millionaires, more multimillionaires, more billionaires. I saw a thing recently. New York has the most billionaires in the country. They have like double, almost triple every place else in the country for major cities. And of course, there's a cost that come with that, an actual hard cost and a cost of a cultural cost, basically.
And when you talk about that, we're looking at two landmark elections. Definitely the election of Mary Sheffield here in the city of Detroit as the first woman mayor to lead the city as an executive. And in New York, Zohran Mamdani.
Right.
Just the whole shift of...
well, both in the same demographic, same age bracket. They're about 3 or 4 years apart, maybe.
But definitely very young as well. Muslim entering this office. And I think the nation is watching from both lenses, but definitely in New York City.
No doubt.
Of what has been said and what can be empowering of people. So when you talk about like rents and even affordable housing here becomes a very difficult issue. I can only imagine what it's like in New York, even for what...
affordable is such a relative term, as you know.
Exactly.
Especially these days.
Yeah, that's why and shout out to Mama Nzinga, she was even saying it's like now they're saying accessible housing because affordable is really defined through what HUD, the federal standards make up the what that is. So it's like $1,750 for a 1-bedroom a month. That's
affordable for who?
Yeah. So accessible. Shout out to Mama Nzinga for sharing that.
Really? She said, okay.
But what's been, as that is shifting, how is that impacting the culture there in New York?
It is. What's so funny, and this happens, I'm sure a lot of places, not just gentrification, but when you see a place and it's fly, it's fun, it has this activity, this buzz, excitement, and you come in, and you drive out the elements that gave it that flavor, it changes it. And that's what happens in most cases, especially the gentrification spots, It was like, ooh, this is so great. This is a wonderful place. These people, it's so much fun and exciting. And you come in and you raise the rents and you shift the culture that was there. It's not the same place you saw that was appealing to you in the first place. And that's continuously happened. So the tastemakers, the flavor creators, the artists and so forth that bring that vibe are gone.
So where
because they can't afford to be there.
And that makes sense. Our interview with Constance that I had earlier this year, and she was speaking a little bit to that. But where are they going? Where is the focus? And then also like if they're leaving the New York area, are they into New Jersey? Are they moving into like Connecticut?
Some of that, but Jersey's rising also. You've got companies that have the affordability of New York are taking advantage of the lesser prices, the cheaper prices in Jersey, which is that far away, and they're pushing the prices up.
Okay.
So you got people are getting pushed down to the Carolinas, to Virginia, to at one point Atlanta, but Atlanta's prices are going up and they get a little overcrowded. Yeah, so people they're not even getting to stay in the area anymore. So, like I said, it really shifts the cultural flavor of everything. And how fly stuff was at one point. It ain't as fly anymore. It's nice, it looks luxurious, it's well done, but it's outpriced.
So, and we've talked about place setting, and then that definitely gets into some of your experience with design, but also just your travels too. You went to University of Texas, and Austin is becoming one of those cultural
has become.
people's
Yeah. I mean, when I was there, it was, I guess to liken it someplace here, Ann Arborish, Michigan, Lansing-ish, because University of Texas,
Sure,
right. Well, I guess probably more Lansing than Ann Arbor because it's the state capital also.
Mhm.
So you had the college vibe, you had the political bumping heads with that thing. And, Austin's main slogan used to be, keep Austin weird.
Mm.
It's probably more strange now than weird, because, it was like a cool weird, like a hippie weird. Now it's Silicon Valley, West or something like that. It's the median income in Austin now, I heard, is like $160,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And what was Black Austin, which was East Austin, no longer exists. All of Black Austin got pushed to the suburbs.
Mm.
So I think the Black population in Austin is maybe 3-4%.
It's definitely gone down in studying, and I'm asking these questions more so because this is a national discussion that we're having because we're looking at what's happening even here in Detroit, especially with a lot of, when you talk about Silicon Valley, the tech centers and the data centers, that a lot of this AI requires a lot of water. So more and more data centers are looking at coming to Detroit to get access to this water, because the computer, to compute this, the processing of this,
the cooling systems
has the cooling systems where you need a lot of water, massively. A lot of environmental activists are strongly against AI with this, and because of this. There was actually most recently an announcement that came out maybe like a week ago about a cooling center that will be coming into the Metro Detroit region, and they're expecting more and more to be placed. And this is going to shift as you talk about Austin. And really, I mean, when you talk about Silicon Valley, the people I know that are like in that San Francisco area, it's, people, it's beyond it's beyond.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've got friends out there who work in that sector, and folks have gone from Silicon Valley as far to Sacramento now, living wise, because of the costs. Sacramento isn't necessarily super close to Silicon Valley.
No, it's not.
Like if it's a ring, it's Silicon Valley, San Francisco, the Bay, Oakland, Richmond, those areas, and then Sacramento.
Yeah.
And they've pushed the prices up, so people are in Sacramento, and now pushing the price in Sacramento up.
Yeah. So with all this, the impacts on culture, because also during some of these stressful times, during this, with like some of those resources that we look at, shout out to Eric Thomas. I was in a meeting with him a couple of days ago.
Okay.
He was speaking to, it's going to be the people in the culture that are offered looking to get access to resources to create this. And then usually it's the people with resources and power looking to trade and grab some of that culture, like the fair exchange in his mind that we were speaking of. But
I wish the exchange was fair. It often is not, as you know.
Well, that is definitely something I agree with you. And in this time, in this era, what expressions have you seen from some of these designers and some of the musicians that you're working with and some of the artists? How are they? How have you seen the shifts of that creativity respond to this reality that is pricing out more and more people and families?
Well, first and foremost, when these things happen, the places in which you create are eradicated. The loft that you might have been in, or the studio apartment that you had that was affordable, that allowed you to have a clear mind to create. Those things are diminishing in a lot of ways. Detroit, fortunately, still has a sizable amount, and though the prices are getting pushed up, in a sense, for Detroit, still are kind of low nationally speaking. I don't know if people know that because maybe they don't travel or get outside it, but still in a reasonable zone. You're not paying, like you said, $1,750, $2,000 a month for a studio 1-bedroom here. Thank God. And there's a lot of available space here compared to a lot of places, So I don't know if people have been as effective art-wise here or culturally here, but definitely in other places. It's shutting them down, because where do you practice? Where do you rehearse? Where do you, put your shows together, et cetera? And then when you're scrambling thinking about money to pay for the basics, it makes it difficult to think about the next song you're going to create or the next play you're going to write. It's a big, big, big difference. My big thing, personally and just overarchingly, to be involved, to try to be involved in Detroit more, you know, whether it's working with an organization or working with an individual or working with a company, those sort of things. And you know, I think I've gotten a sense of just oftentimes a gloom and doom for people that are here, like, oh man, this stuff is going on, it's over for us, we're done. I'm like, how? You're here already. You know, as much as there's change, Detroit is still what? So between 84% black, 86% African American, period, right? So unlike a lot of other cities, to make that change is going to be a greater amount of work and effort. And that's the time for you to be here, make a stake, create a business, grow your business, create an organization. You know, I see working in tandem more often, especially with the changes that are going on politically, you know, relying on people like yourself who push community, relying on the community more, which we actually used to do a lot more than we do now. You know, keep those dollars circulating, keep the energy circulating, keep the information circulating, which allows you to have a stake and not get pushed out.
Yeah, I often think of so much has happened in many different spaces in media, in different voices, and where things are now, definitely. So shout out to everyone that has supported Detroit is Different over the years. You know, the thank you celebration and so much more. This is definitely not I never envisioned something like this becoming what it has and providing the opportunities that it has, and it continues to provide, not just for me, but for many others. So that's humbling. But I also recognize that in these same shifts, like the voice in that space for people to connect and need those real connections, I think that only heightens and becomes more real in these times. So now I guess I got to go to something that you're definitely very centered in when it comes to design, and even like you know, what's happened with Design Week to Design Month, and the process of connecting with a lot of those Black designers. What's their perspectives? How are they looking at opportunities now for the younger designers in this field, and staying grounded in that work?
It's interesting you brought up younger designers. One of the things that I got to participate in this summer also, or in the summer, was the Black Footwear Forum, the BFF, which goes on at Pensole, and it actually paralleled, for at least a couple, it paralleled Detroit Homecoming. So that was, you know,
yeah,
a lot happening at one time, but it was worth it, you know. So
talk a little bit about that. Sterling spoke to it. He said, yeah, it was really cool. He shared something, but what is that? Break it down.
Okay, the BFF is an organization that is focused on Blacks, obviously Blacks in footwear. And with footwear being as hot as it is these days, especially young cats, you know, sneakers, the whole sneaker culture thing, which is not just national but global, you know, it really speaks to a lot of that. Now, of course, people think footwear these days, think sneakers, but it covers all of footwear. So, you know, we call it dress shoes, hard bottoms. Yeah. All those folks are there. And it's a great exchange. You know, it's a great exchange. It's a great knowledge bank. For people that don't know, Pensole Academy is Detroit's HBCU now. You know, it was an entity out of the West Coast, out of Portland, with Dr. Dwayne Edwards for years. And he was able to create a situation where he took over the old Lewis Business College and combined them. So it's what Pensole Lewis College of Design, Business and Design, actually. And so this annual event takes place there, and it brings in all these incredible young designers from all over the country. And it was really incredible getting their take on where things are and how they feel about things. It was very energizing. It was very uplifting. These cats were very optimistic about not only their profession but about where things are going, and they're gonna be the ones to steer it whatever way it goes.
Yeah.
So for them to be there and exchange with each other, and also exchange with veterans, people who had kind of been there before them, was a wonderful thing. When the keynote and key figures that came was a brother named Wilson Smith. Wilson was the first Black designer in the game. He's been at Nike. He was at Nike, I don't know, 40, 50 years. He just retired this year, and he's seen everything. He worked with Nike pre-Brand Jordan, with Brand Jordan when it started. I think before he left, he was in like this experimental sector of Nike where they're coming up with what was next. And, he was there to engage and impart information and knowledge to all the cats that were at the Footwear Forum. It was really, really a great event.
Okay. All right. And you say they're very optimistic about what's next. What are they seeing in that sector where more of their creativity can thrive and it can connect to the people?
Well, what I saw a lot of is a kind of entrepreneurial spirit. I mean, they're not immune to the contractions that are going on in a lot of these companies. So some of them been let go.
Yeah.
Some of them left before that happened and said, I'm going to create my own company or try and create my own brand. And there were a number of those kids there. And that was really cool. And they're utilizing the tools that are available today. They're on Instagram a lot. They're on TikTok a lot, creating their product, selling their product directly to the consumer. And not necessarily thinking. Some of them, of course, were able to get into some of the companies and take that knowledge, that corporate knowledge from within the company and utilize it for their own situations. So, but a lot of them had a very, very kind of entrepreneurial spirit, independent spirit about, hey, I want to go do this. And it was really, really cool. I got one of your media colleagues, Greg Dunmore, who has Pulse Beat TV down there.
Yeah.
They did some really incredible interviews with some of these kids. Get a chance to check that out. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
Pulse Beat TV, and they talked directly to some of what you're speaking of, like how they were going about what they're doing now or next. One of the young brothers, Andrew Towns, just left Timberland. He was a designer at Timberland and kind of came through the ranks by happenstance. But now he's trying to go off and do his own thing. There's another brother here named Juan Neal, who's got his own line that he's about to kind of reinvent and resurge. He's got a little store out in Ferndale. There's another younger brother who I met last year. Very, very happy to see him again. Named Jason Dixon.
Okay.
And he's got a situation now from last year to this year. He's got a situation he's doing with Adidas.
Okay.
And it's more collaborative than it is I'm going to work for Adidas.
Yeah.
So it's very cool to see this thought process and this idea of I'm going to go ahead and try and create something.
That you speak of is definitely something key to think of. And then also Greg, as we know, Greg Dunmore, Pulse Beat, that's an institution connecting to media and getting voice out for years. So thank you even so much for bringing him to the Collard Green Cook-Off this past year. That was fun.
Which was a great event, once again.
Thank you.
And I'm not even Mr. Collard Greens. My mom is more into greens than I am, but
hilarious.
It's just such a great confluence of community and food and tradition and history. It's really, really cool.
Yes, Detroit is different in type stuff.
Now I know you got hit with the inclement weather, which kind of changed up the.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an outdoor event. It was indoor because we had too many of the rain reports, and it didn't even rain that much. But it happens. But we keep the ball rolling.
Yeah,
and it was a lot of
the
good
energy was there. The camaraderie was there. It was cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And the collard greens weren't there. I obviously got the
hilarious.
A little too late.
Yeah, man. They went through.
They went fast.
Hundreds of pounds of collard greens.
They went fast. Yeah. Oh my God.
Hundreds of pounds of collard greens. Yes. So definitely looking at even what can grow even from those points of interest.
For sure.
It's always humbling to connect in community in that way. In some of these other Detroiters, different things like, okay, let's try this. And it's going to be some new creative projects in 2026 from Detroit is different. Just, staying around like, okay, what else can we do? How do we have something new for the offering to build opportunities that do exist,
Right.
So definitely looking forward to that. And now in that same space of you and creativity, music. One of the biggest challenges that I still think exist here, and it may be in other places too, is stages. It's not a lot of stages to really get on.
You're right. That is an issue, man. It has been an issue. It's all part of that consolidation, the way there's like 2, 3, or 4 labels now where there used to be 15, 20.
Yeah.
You now have, companies like Live Nation contracting the whole scene.
Yeah, Live Nation and the Ticketmaster venues.
AEG.
Yeah.
These companies are squeezing out what used to be the Chitlin circuit.
And William Morris has a lot of the talent booked. So
exactly.
it's definitely more conglomerate control of
Sadly, because I think it kind of helps to stifle the creativity.
and I have this as so many people always say, like, oh man, you need to do this again and that again. And it's like so much of my life was learning things in music.
Mm-hmm.
And the creativity of it, the fun of it, love it. The business of it can get like so locked in, even when it comes to like streaming and what
Robbery.
that proposition would be.
Say robbery?
I mean, well, there you go.
Well, I just don't like the fact that I think we have, and I only say we because I was part of the music business for so long. We have diminished people's intellectual property. We've diminished their creativity. It's a special thing to be able to create a song, to create a piece of art, and now you get a piece for a penny for it.
I mean, yeah,
it takes you more than that to actually create it. At least be commensurate.
Yeah,
and people have been brainwashed into it.
And
I actually had a debate with a colleague about it. Like, he was saying it's such an opportunity. It's giving people a chance to make more money than they ever did because they do shows and they sell merch and do other stuff, and it's not about the music. I'm like, but it is about the music.
I mean,
the music is at the core of it.
I would say definitely if you were born in the 2000s, you probably don't even necessarily look at music as a product to be sold per se.
Right.
Like your thought process isn't like, oh, this is something you buy.
Right. It's something that you're given, you just take.
Yeah, and you're gonna transact with the commercials that you see. Hence, like what those experiences are. So artists are definitely looking to add in more to expand things. Like even to so many people talking about like this NBA YoungBoy tour that's happening right now. Which I don't know if any of you guys listen to NBA YoungBoy.
I definitely know who he is.
He's like Pac for
the tour. The tour has been interesting.
Yes, but then it's like lifting up the hood and seeing what's behind the mechanisms pushing a lot of this. I mean, Lear Cohen is still head of YouTube Music Group, which
a former colleague. We worked with Leo for years.
A lot of that is like, so it's still some of the same entities, more so consolidated into these conglomerate entities.
Exactly.
And yeah, it just becomes tough.
Like baked in, right?
Yeah, and even like venues. This is another one of those same realities that I've spoke to with, shout out to Shed and many other, Shed, Ty, and a lot of other things like liquor and nightlife, but especially live venues. So this is comedy, jazz, blues, hip hop, rock and roll. Like
Well, you mentioned comedy in direct, but one mic closed.
Yeah.
Whoa. Was it 2 years? 3 years?
I mean, I know a lot of comedians here that it may be that people that say it never really opened sometimes.
say what Chris Rock think? Grand opening, grand closing?
Hey, I mean, but the relationship between like a lot of people not drinking alcohol, other substances, but that was the way, because basically it's like you would come, people buy 3-4 drinks, and it covers the cost. Whereas now, a lot of these venues, do they have the $2,000, $2,500 to pay the band, pay the staff, keep the lights on, keep things going, and most people don't buy any alcohol. It's like it's opening up the hood for a lot of these relationships. So I think even the way we look at shows and what's given is a lot of like the community events and people probably performing without paying to even see the show itself. If you're thinking for the smaller acts and for the larger acts, like I say, you're in the rows of whatever the machine is, and you're kind of moving through that.
But see, you know what? And it's kind of a two-pronged situation for me when it comes to the alcohol situation. I'm not a big drinker, but I understand, the dynamics because I've been doing the club stuff for decades, right? But, they kind of did it themselves with this whole bottle service thing. Whereas you started blocking people out or segregating folks by, I'm going to now charge you double, triple, quadruple the price of a bottle of alcohol just you could sit, so you could have a seat in the club.
Mhm.
Where you could have a seat. You said back in the day, people could buy 3 and 4 drinks, and they did until that happened.
Yeah.
Now you're not buying 3 or 4 drinks. You're buying 1 drink, maybe 2. You're milking it because I can't do bottle service, or I can't sit down. So I'm just kind of standing around, and people aren't dancing like they used to or interacting in the place like they used to. Those dynamics are different.
Yeah.
So if you're taking a hit, alcohol-wise, because people aren't drinking anymore, you kind of cultivated that. Who wants to drink when you got to spend $200 for a bottle that you would have bought for $30 on the way there?
That definitely is a reality in any club, which is frustrating. But I just think the younger people just don't drink.
Well, that too.
They're not drinking. It's other substances, but they're definitely not drinking.
Right.
So that relationship, but it was always like a kind of like a known, not spoken, the relationship between alcohol and live entertainment.
Right.
For the venue to profit. And without those relationships.
And profit considerably.
Yeah, well, you got that right. Especially, I can only imagine, like, what's that punk rock place in New York? BC?
Oh, CBGB's?
Yeah.
While it existed, CBGB's. Here's the Detroit connection with CBGB. CBGB's ended up becoming the John Varvatos store. John is from the area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, like, just those types of places that just exist. Even here, what we're looking at, like Baker's Keyboard Lounge, which is still live entertainment. But just you think about when Baker's open, all of the other jazz clubs just in and around the city and stages that a person can hit. I mean, the stories that people talk about, like just a John Coltrane basically being able to come to Detroit, walk up and down Dexter and Linwood and go from bar to bar to bar to bar.
Right. It was that place, was the Strata, back in the day, Bluebird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just, you come to Detroit, go from bars, make enough money, cool, go to the next city.
Yeah,
culture exists and it carries on. I mean, even it used to blow my mind when I talked to rest in peace, my late godmother, Althea Barnes, where like the shows would she would, have she would have a set for Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 3 shows Saturday, 2 shows Sunday, and it just would consistently roll like that. And then Tuesday and Wednesday would be rehearsals.
Right.
Sometimes people would stop in and what those experiences were because they were connecting with that live.
Great lady. I had the good fortune to do promotion for one of her records back in the day. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So what do you think the live experience moves to? Because I want to talk about just the live experience. Then we can talk a little bit more about music for today.
Man, it's like I said, it's tough because there was a point, of course, Live Nation, those companies start coming in. They were buying up bigger venues.
Yes.
Everybody like downtown Detroit, the Fillmore used to be the Palms Theater, State Theater, one of those, movie theater. But then Live Nation bought up the Fillmore, which is actually originally in the Bay Area in San Francisco, and decided to make that like a franchise name. So there's Fillmores across the country now.
Kind of like the blues.
Right.
Yeah.
House of Blues.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now they're brand new to all these places. Fillmore, I kind of think it's whack, but and it kind of takes out the way the local flavor. But anyway,
yeah.
So okay, it's fine. You're buying up bigger venues, all right. But then you got mid-level and small venues.
Yeah.
Well, what started killing it? They started getting those venues.
Yeah.
So whereas you had the little small venue, you could hide out, maybe work some stuff out, still have a cool little show, build a following, done.
Yeah.
In so many instances. So now where do you go? What do you do? It's going to be like our gang, Little Rascals. Let's put on a show. Yeah. And then you got somebody's garage or hopefully community center or something. It's not like you've got a venue anymore. Because they've scrolls in that. They've been scrolls out. And then now you've got to put in, they bring in their own, production companies. And then they're designating, okay, we got some small acts we want to grow, so they're going to play this place.
Yeah.
And so that knocks out the local artists in a lot of ways that would get a chance to get in there and work things out. People come see them, give them the thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of figure out where I am in the process.
Yeah, it's tough. I think about, like, right now it's Tony V's, but I think of, all the nights and the productions we did at Alvin's. But I mean, the history of like Alvin's even going back to
exactly
the 80s.
Yeah.
you know, between reggae, rock and roll, blues,
New wave. Remember that?
new wave. Yeah, it
You know,
was there.
synth pop, alternative, all that stuff. Yeah.
You're not those types of venues don't like the stages that aren't corporate based stages, what happens, you know?
Yeah.
What are you seeing? I assume it's even tougher probably in a place like New York, but where are some of the where
Yeah,
are
dude,
the artists finding the
they
stage?
have decreased greatly because, you know, now you may be a condo or a parking lot
Mm.
because it makes more money.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So cool little spots, cool little hangouts, out of here, man.
Mm.
You can't even say hole in the wall anymore because if it's a hole in the wall, they gonna fill it with something.
Yeah.
You know, since in moving around Detroit, there's still a lot of incredible creative activity.
Yeah.
I've seen some cool stuff. I've seen some cool groups. I've seen like, well, what's cats? What's the name of the group?
mean,
My
Drake's
Detroit Players.
Okay, yeah. I love
My Detroit Players, stuff like that.
Yeah, shout out to them. I thought you were gonna say Dre Sconey in the Cloud. He's doing stuff. Isis DeMille, definitely Charity. Everything
right.
Charity's doing. I mean, it's some good acts. Molly Wop.
Yeah. But
You know,
how many
but
places are they
it's
getting to
that,
show up?
Like how often can they hit a stage?
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of become, I know, you know, this is years ago where I was at it, like, and it was tough even for my value proposition. 'Cause I still like selling shows, but you know, I was more so waiting on the festival run and trying to hit those stages, which is a tougher stage because it's like this festival is going to pay me more, but now people can wait to come here and see me for free or for $5 or something versus now this promoter that wants to do this show and charge for 20. It's like,
Plus, it kind of takes away from getting a chance to build up an audience because whether you can play here and then play here, then play here, and gradually get a following.
Yeah.
If you're dormant until that one or two things,
Yeah.
and you got to hope you can derive a following for that, get a mailing list, whatever, from the glut of all the other acts at that festival.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing.
It's definitely if and like I'm just giving you this space because you work with artists and have known this. What do you think artists have to do at this point in time? Because, you know, I was definitely one of those artists that was putting on a lot more hats than just the music. And that's probably you know, I grew very exhausted of all the other stuff because it's like, damn, I gotta write the song, then I gotta record the song. Then I'm gonna perform the song.
Right.
Then I gotta make the performance. So now I gotta get the engineers. I gotta sell tickets. I gotta make flyers. I gotta talk to the person at the venue. We gotta work out what the bar tab's gonna be. Like it just, you know, and I mean I was doing it and it just became way overwhelming, you know, and it's like, damn, I really just wanna where do you see that focus? What do you think artists should be thinking at this?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, when you started, at least fortunately, you could still sell a CD.
You got
to get a little bit of your money back from making recordings.
I was very big on physical copies, even as shout out to Ian Sherman. I did a lot of music with Ian. And Ian was like, man, people don't even have players no more. But I'm like, it's physical. I know I can transact with it.
Right. And I not only missed that, I'm sure the artists miss that. It's unfair they don't have that opportunity anymore. They don't have that advantage anymore to live off. Okay, you know what? I can at least sell 100 CDs and do a little something. Or I can sell, 50 cassettes, 100 cassettes and do a little something. I mean, vinyl's making a bit of a resurgence.
Yeah. But it's more,
kind of a cool, trendy thing.
Like boutique.
Right, very boutique. Very boutique.
Yeah. It's not like I need this to listen. It's more so like I'm buying this vinyl because I support this artist.
Right.
And I'm going to keep it. Like, rest in peace, Amp Fiddler. Like, I bought the vinyl because it's like, I just want it.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Because I love Amp, you know what I'm saying? And now, especially now, it's like, it's a collector's item.
Right. Now, I'm going to come back to your initial question, but I wanted to put this out there. You know, there was a time, especially with techno, people don't know, techno being what it is in Detroit, originating in Detroit, emanating out of Detroit.
Yeah.
These guys, a cat could go and say, all right, I'm going to press up 200 pieces of vinyl, right? So I sell 200 pieces of vinyl at wholesale cost. I make that money, right? Somewhere between $5-6 a deal. I make that money, and then I get to go get booked overseas. I played like 5-10 gigs. You come back home, you're good.
Yeah.
You're lovely for a while because your rent's what, $500, $600, whatever. You've made a nice little chunk of change, and you're great for 6 months or so, and you go do the process again. You can't do that now. You can't do that now. You make a joint, you can't really sell it. It's streaming. Your streaming check is peanuts and takes forever to get to you.
Yeah.
So what do you do in the meantime? You might still get the notoriety and go play some gigs, but that's not the same thing like what you're talking about. The venues are different. They're fewer and further between. So less opportunities to play. The money's down at the clubs. So less opportunity to really get paid.
Yeah.
Because like you said, liquor sales are down. There's a whole scenario, man. So to go to your question directly, two-prong, I'm going to speak to you talking about having to do too much.
Mm.
I definitely think there needs to be more competent, especially here where there's all this talent. There needs to be more serious and competent representation. So guys like you who are creators can create.
I saw the look in your eye when you came to me. I got a rebuttal for that, but continue.
I mean, so you want cats who can genuinely help an artist be an artist.
Yeah.
Not the greed side, not that I'm gonna be famous because I'm rolling with so, but people who really understand the business say, okay,
yeah,
these are the things that we can do intelligently together to make your career happen, from where we are.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the information that's out there, I think a lot of these artists need to take it upon themselves to become just more knowledgeable in general as to what can happen, how things can go. There are case studies out there out the ass now of, trajectories and so forth. I mean, you can look at anybody from back in the day, Frank Zappa to a La Russell.
Yeah.
To see how the independent thing can work.
Yeah.
Sharing information. With all the talent around, guys got to share information. Some, I did this, I didn't do that. I had success. How did I have success? These things are important. And, learn the avenues where you can make money these days. Because we definitely know it ain't just making a record. And if we're talking about it now, shows are tough. So maybe you need to do some tandem shows. Maybe you need to do some group shows. Like we talked about community, tapping the community. Maybe we need to be doing something at the co-op because they have a great performance space. Mm-hmm. So everybody wins. Co-op gets money, you get an equitable situation. These sort of things you got to think of.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about out of the box. You got to really be out of the box these days because a lot of those old situations don't exist anymore.
Yeah. Or
they put a tax on them and that bars you from it or keeps you more distant. So I hear someone's buzzing about the Coleman Young Center is back for doing something these days. You got Bustle Center on the east side that's got available space and they've been revamped.
Yeah.
You got to think about those places. They're viable. They're well appointed. You may have to bring in an item or two, but still. So you don't get to play the marquee club anymore. Make that the marquee club. It's supposed to be about you and your talent, your vision anyway. So just bring that compartment right over here. Plug it in.
So you let's go with where you started with.
Okay.
And I like a lot of what you gave because a lot of that is definitely what to be thinking, but representation.
Mm-hmm.
You spoke to representation and the right representation. I immediately have so many thoughts on that. But before I even go there, what should an artist be looking for? How do you even know that this is probably representation that I would want to work with?
Now, admittedly enough, it can be tough, especially if you have, come from a certain knowledge base, because a lot of people can present like they know what they're doing. They don't know what the hell they're doing. I've seen it, and I've heard the horror stories for years. Mm-hmm. Putting your stuff in the wrong hands, they fumble the ball. If they even grab the ball in the first damn place, That's why I say it helps to be knowledgeable so you know at least what representation does and in the best case scenario it's supposed to do. So you at least have something to judge against. And ask questions, figure out Does what they're telling you align with what you think or what you want?
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, figure out what it is you want. A lot of people just say, "Hey, I want to blow up. I want to be famous. I'll be rich." But there's things within that realm that you're gonna need, right? So figure that out. So when you meet someone who could be representation, know what to ask them. Know if it aligns with you and your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Know if they have the ability to that. Maybe see something they've done before or someone they worked with before. Even if it's not an artist, they might have done some things in another area that show they have a certain level of skill to do certain things, right? Like I said, there's a lot of information out there. Watch this stuff. Look at case studies. Like, hey, this is what they did. This is what the person that worked for them did for them to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
You can examine somebody like a Shakim, who's worked with Latifah since the beginning of her career.
Mm-hmm.
What things do they do to have success, to stay together? Obviously he started off at a more novice level. I know Shakim for years, right? But he grew. He learned the business. He groomed himself. He got information from people who have been in business and has, produced a successful artist with an incredible career. So there's ways to have some checks and balances, even if you haven't done this before,
Mm-hmm.
And you may not know who's the best or who's not. So, you can kind of fortify yourself against the bad situation as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I immediately think when it comes to representation, the tough thing is a lot of the attitudes and personalities at the time when I guess I would be in that role working with others. Some of this also just, like when so many people, I did a performance for, shout out to Tawana Honeycomb Petty for her and the Petty Propolis, and I haven't performed in years.
Okay.
This past Labor Day, and I was with DJ I love most, DJ Drummer B. It was interesting, but so much of like everything in music that I put in, I just like those relationships of what happens after it's that song and just that love of just what the song is. It would definitely build more dissonance because of all of the other things that we're talking about connecting to business.
Mm-hmm.
So I've definitely worked with a lot of artists that felt like, yo, I'm the artist, I'm gonna do art, and I just do art, and you do everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else kind of is not as important as this music stuff. Whereas like before my eyes, I think over the time as I was like really engaging in music, like let's say, I don't know, 2001 to like 2014 or something,
Mm-hmm.
like that was the time where a lot of it almost became the talent, the quality, the artistry. Like you almost could have like slapped anything together and just ran it through the machine, and this will become what people really connect with.
Right.
And this is when people say, "Oh man, you like a hater and everything," but even like you look at 2 years ago between what was happening between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and most of the time, and I've never been like Drake has a lot of songs that I identify and I say, okay, I can listen to them, but I never felt like he created a vibe that like I really connect with. I always felt like his music was very, like when Mos Def said, like this is music in the background of Target, and I'm it's like this is like no diss to him, but it just it didn't like nothing about it ever stood out. It almost is like so even keel, similar to like when people
just didn't connect with you that way.
Taylor Swift's music, and like people say like, well, where should you stand even with Taylor Swift? And I'm like, I'm not the biggest pop music fan, but being born in the 80s, like
you definitely understand pop music. Yeah,
I knew Cyndi Lauper, and it's like, oh, that's a hit. You know what I'm saying? I heard time after time, and it's I understand what's happening here, and even Culture Club and stuff like that. Like it's almost better to make music that really doesn't have that stance. Hence, rest in peace, D'Angelo and Angie Stone. But like, you think of that stance that like D'Angelo, like those moments just don't even feel like something people are pouring into, even though I know is so much more creativity out there, but it almost is better to like kind of be at a level where you can just stay in like a DJ spindle and like kind of, keep playing. So, I mean, I'm speaking to this, just that was like the feel. Like it's so rare to like meet one of those artists where it's like, yeah, this is that connection and have more of that platform. Hence, I guess that's what was unique into like a lot of the connections that Kendrick Lamar made in certain ways. But yeah, I feel like it's become so, the system is.
It's just a hum, a drone,
machine.
like
Yeah, it's just like you run it through the machine, you'll get these appearances, and now, especially as AI is entering into the fold, and it was interesting. Jermaine Dupri even put a post up. He was like, "Yo, 30 years ago, Milli Vanilli had their Grammys taken away, but for not singing these songs, but now you gonna have a person that can't sing,
not even sing
the song,
yeah."
Possibly get a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's bananas, right?
Interesting. And then you listen to some of the AI music and it's like, okay, I understand, like based on what we listening to, this fits right in line.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
And scary.
Yeah.
Because now you don't even have a person doing the music. Like, where is the soul in soul music?
I would say it, and you listen to some, it's more like that one artist. I mean, she sound the AI artist sounds more soulful than some of the, I guess, soul acts that are trying to make pop music so that they can
hopefully
keep their career going. I assume.
Right. Or not even keep the career going, trying to have a career because you think this is the way to go.
Yeah.
It's so complex, especially coming from someplace like Detroit where there's so much genuine talent, man.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even go that route? Because you have a skill, a voice that people would want.
I mean, my interview with Stephanie Christian in this year, like from the rock and roll she does with Jessica Care Moore to performing theatrical musicals with Taylor Mack to performing with Don Was to performing with, with Inner City, like this, I'm like, damn. And I mean, I've known her since, since I was a kid. It's like, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Little known fact, myself and my business partner, Ward, who handles Erica, got Stephanie her first publishing deal when she was 16.
Okay. She kind of told a little bit of that story, I think, when we did the interview.
Yeah, with Famous Music Publishing.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been a talented girl.
Yeah.
Well, I guess talented woman now. She's grown.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
that's just an example of the kind of talent that exists in the city.
Yeah.
And do you cultivate it properly? Do you steer it to be a pop monster like you mentioned? Do you let something like AI emulate someone like that and knock them out of the running? It's a really, really tough equation these days. There's a lot of complexities.
Yeah, and I mean, I still love music so much. Like people, it's like I got a soundtrack almost to everything. Listening to things all the time. So people always be like, "Why you listen to so much old stuff?" And it's like I listen to some new things, but it takes a while for me to tap into new vibes.
Well, you want something that's good and fits. And when people they were really making music, it was good.
I mean, also,
not everything was good. We're not trying to paint a pie in the sky picture that everything that came out in the 80s was incredible. There was a lot of trash.
Yeah, it was.
But there was a lot of good stuff.
I think a lot of good stuff, but also it's like when I'm listening to something, I'm putting it's like this versus the catalog of music that connects me to, and also relationships with music. Like I listen to my mom passed years ago, but this has been definitely the year where it's like it feels more like it. But she loved the dramatics. So it's like I'm playing more of the
okay.
dramatics, and I always love the dramatics. So
Yeah,
but
right.
it's like you get in these zones and it's like, damn, the dramatics was amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Word, man.
And different arcs and different flows and what was happening. And rest in peace, Ron. Ron was I met him a couple
Wild
times.
story. I met Ouija
Mm.
on the train from upstate New York to the city.
Mm.
Like, just so random and happenstance, man. Rest in peace to him.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
Phenomenal opening to Get Up, Get Down. You call that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing. But like that's that feel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
rest in peace, Don Davis too. I mean, met him too. And like these feels and like music connects to different things of like it creates, I think even movements have a feel where it's like a soundtrack of a time and what people think,
Right. Right.
you know. So and when I think about a lot of the popular stuff now, like, you know, it hits, I mean, to be, you know, and I know they look at it as like digital sales, but to be the most popular artist ever, as they would say with Drake, the most selling artist ever, it took one diss song basically to make most people say, I don't even want to listen to him anymore. So to me, that just shows the continuity of the relationship that people had with his music, because I can't tell, like, let's see, who was probably that popular? Tupac was probably that popular for me as who a rapper was.
Okay.
And to this day, it's a certain age and group of people that like have relationships with Tupac's music where, you know, people willing to, you know, get in fisticuffs.
Yeah, true. Like, I'm gonna fight you over this song. Right?
I will fight you over you disrespecting the legacy.
But you know what? But that speaks to, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier about discounting somebody's intellectual property, their talent. That speaks to the depth and the power of music. I'm willing to fight you over a song, over an artist.
Yeah.
Why does that person deserve to get compensated for that power? You know what I mean? That's the point. That's the point. For somebody to have that level of influence, real influence, not an influencer, but influence, but real influence on a person, on people, to have that gravitas and to not be able to benefit from that, it's absurd.
So now I gotta reverse that same question back to you. As you look at working with musicians and music artists now, what are you looking for when you think, okay, I want to work with this person, and then what is like that opportunity that's best to fit for what you do?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably archaic in this respect, and maybe not even sometimes smart, because it's never been about the money. I've always loved the artistry. I've always loved the music, you know, how it moved me, how it affected me. You know, I'd wake up I told a friend of mine the other day, I got in their car and they were playing Joe Sample, who I loved. Because they were like, I'm trying to be calm. I'm like, well, if you're trying to be calm, some of the best stuff you can play is Joe Sample. I used to play Joe Sample in Earl Clue in the morning before I got on the bus, the two buses to go to gas. And I still play that before, like if I DJ, right? Just to kind of create a serene foundation palette, right? Before I go and do whatever. That's stuff I listen to because music has power. Music has emotional content to set a tone or a mood or a feeling, right? Or even express that. Or allow you to kind of get whatever you may have in you out because they were able to tap into your frequency and help you express that feeling. So I'm still moved by those sort of things. So if I hear a great artist, I'm like, wow, I want everybody to hear this great artist and feel the way I feel. And so I'm not thinking, oh my God, we're going to be billionaires. I think it can happen because I think the music is so great, it's going to affect millions of people, and then you get to reap the benefit from that. But of course, now you don't get to fully reap what you could because of the obstacles and the way things have been now set up.
Yeah.
You know, we've turned what could be at one point $1 million seller into a $500,000 seller, just right off the bat.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't deter me from wanting someone to really hear this artist, right? This artist, one artist I know, you can look them up. Her name is Alicia Renee, aka Blue Eyes.
Okay.
She's out there doing her thing. She sings on the streets in New Orleans, but she's also, sung overseas and in venues. But she's a worthy artist. She's an artist that, deserves to be noticed, to have a certain caliber of career, response, and audience. Will that happen? Hopefully so. But like I said, the obstacles that we've been speaking of, venues, Spotify, streaming, all these sort of things, kind of, deter from that, or could take away from that happening to the degree it could happen. But yeah, I'm definitely motivated still by incredible talent. I mean, I've enjoyed hearing people here. I've heard, an Alan Denard or Ian Fink or my cousin Sterling, stuff he's doing, or Nick Speed. You've been, Ice at the Mill, who I've seen for years. Her dad was a jazz musician.
Yes.
So it's there, man, and it's moving. I'm like, ooh, you get someplace. I'm Malik Austin, who's making bad stuff still.
Yep.
These guys are all deserving. All deserve $1 million careers because their artistry is at that place.
Definitely. So kind of as we get to a close now, as you uplift that, I guess the number one thing and the question I got for you now, the design, the music, what do you see next as far as what would you like to be bringing to Detroit? Okay, this is 2025, 2026, like over the next 2-3 years.
Wow, a few things. A couple things I didn't get to mention that we did this. I got to be involved with over the past several months was they did an event, which is a national, kind of international event called Summit Series.
Okay.
In Detroit. That was kind of phenomenal. It was honestly probably one of the best conferences I've been to in my entire existence.
What is it?
Summer Series is it's kind of it was a conglomerate of, I don't know, it was business, it was wellness, it was networking.
Okay.
Got created by some cats from outside Detroit, a little group of cats that were from Bloomfield and connected with some other folks around the country. And a lot of them were people that were involved in like Burning Man, that sort of thing. So they had that philosophy with them. But it was very heavy on building connections and relationships that in most instances led to business situations. But the emphasis wasn't so much on
the business.
Let's get together, make company. It was about who are you?
Yeah.
Not so much what do you do?
Yeah.
And the who are you led to the other things.
Definitely. And
they've created a very strong, solid international community behind it.
That makes sense. And that was in Detroit this year.
It was in Detroit this year.
Okay. All right.
They're back out overseas someplace next year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But, and then just the great part about it, all of them enjoyed Detroit. They're like, yo, I hadn't been here before. It's phenomenal. I had a great time being here.
That's cool.
The energy of the place.
That's cool.
Which I was able to glean from that. These are all elements that we could harness and utilize for ourselves, taking it forward.
Okay.
They'd had the Black Film Festival. Was Lazar and his wife.
Yeah, Detroit Black Film Festival.
Was it Festival?
The A Debt Owed, Not a Handout. I won Best Documentary in that.
Oh, bravo.
That was big. That was big.
That's dope. That's dope.
I've known Lazar and Marshall for years. And I love the way seeing that they work together, pour into each other's creativity. And
she does the Trinity Film Festival, correct?
Yes, she does the Trinity Film Festival.
Bravo to both of them.
Yeah, they're assets to and some very big Detroiters different supporters too.
Okay, and they did the Spirit event within that framework also.
Spirits, yeah, where I'm interviewing E40 and they're traveling all over the country and actually internationally, as they will be traveling to Ghana, I believe, in 2026.
Okay. So also shout out to Yolanda Jack. Over at the right. At the right.
But Charles H.
No, I'm not going to call it the right. That's a whole other subject. I'm not calling it the right. The Charles H. Wright African American Museum, who has put together her own theater company,
Mm.
and talking to Charles Wright about I'm working with a partner of mine, Alphonse McCullough, and a brother named Gary Price, who has a yet to be seen performance documentary on Gil Scott-Heron.
I saw her performance, well, actually the performance of a play that she directed over here at the Repertory Theater. So I knew definitely deep in the theater and known of it, but I did not know she was launching her own production.
Right.
Shout out to yo. I need to get her back in here for
definitely that. Dope. So we got the I've got the Gil Scott-Heron performance documentary.
Okay.
Looking to do that. Looking to do a screening of, which came out previously, Danielle Luna, the model, who was a pioneering Black model. She was kind of the basis for Diana Ross's character Mahogany.
Okay.
Was an HBO documentary, and she's originally from Detroit. That's what makes it so special.
I watched a little bit of that documentary just because it like came across when I had like these subscriptions give you free stuff.
Right.
Yo, and I was like, okay, all right, this is interesting.
We're looking to bring that back into town with the producer.
Okay.
Talk about that and expand on her
story,
Detroit roots and story. Yeah, exactly. So looking to do that, which is going to be a beautiful thing. Looking to bring African American women in cinema, AWIC.
Yeah, and I know you've been involved with that for years.
Yeah. That's right. Because you were
in New York.
You was in New York. Yes.
New York trips. You was like,
yes,
hey, come over this way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So to do, they're not going to do the traditional conference they've been doing, but like kind of a 2-day retreat on film here. So we're trying to work out the aspects of that. One of the reasons I wanted to chop it up with you this year also was because this year has been the 35th anniversary of the Organization of Black Designers, the 40th anniversary of the company I started, Hot Wax Promotions, which got me into all of this.
Yeah.
So, I've done some small things here and there. There's also the 35th anniversary of the first rap show at South by Southwest that I produced.
That's what's up.
So,
was that the one with Run DMC?
No, Run DMC got us into it in the first place, but this was the first rap show we had. Ultramagnetic.
Okay,
called Blackmail. Yeah. Phenomenal event, which gave us, gave these artists and artists at the time a chance to be on the stage with some name acts.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So 2026, definitely left to want to see some more stuff happen. I want to see our participation expand for Homecoming. I want to see a greater exposure of techno. I'm actually working on a campaign with a brother out west who's been here before, called Techno's Black Music, because people don't know Techno's Black Music.
Yeah, I feel that, and shout out to Christian Hill in his documentary.
Oh man, yeah, Christian's my man. Him and Jennifer,
yeah,
two of them did a phenomenal movie. God Said, Give Them Drum Machines.
Yep,
which needs to be ubiquitous.
Yeah,
but definitely has helped, spearhead that knowledge. So I want to do something special during Black Music Month. And why Black Music Month? Because what? Techno's Black music.
That's what's up.
So
that's what's up.
We gotta make it as people are trying to tamp down our accomplishments. We gotta wave the banner, wave the flag even more for the stuff that we do and have done. We just can't let it get pushed under the rug or veiled or co-opted, appropriated.
Definitely.
And that comes from knowledge. If people know what happened, how it occurred. Same thing like the whole Uncle Nearest Jack Daniels thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Once you know, it's like, oh, well, we got to examine this.
I'm with it. I'm with it. And on that note, as we get to a close, I always like to add something just extra culture in it.
Got to do that.
With it. What we gonna go movie? We gonna go music.
Okay.
We gonna go food. What you listening to right now? What do you think we should tap into our playlist and be adding in the mix?
I've been backtracking on some jazz stuff because I love jazz.
You said Earl Clue.
Oh man, yeah, I just love jazz in general, and it's another authentic African American art form, right? Amapiano.
Okay.
South Africa.
Okay. Any act in particular?
I mean, there's just so many of those cats, man. What I like about it is that they've created their own community within the culture, right?
Mhm.
And they've been completely independent. They really parallel the techno guys. I'm actually trying to work to get these guys together. I
Okay.
have a really good friend in South Africa named Timba Sebeko.
Okay.
Timba came out of a revolutionary spirit. His dad was named David Sebeko. Look him up. They called David Sebeko the Malcolm X of South Africa. And unfortunately, he got assassinated like Malcolm. But Tim and I have been friends for years. He was the head of the South African Film Commission. So he's really tapped in and has helped me like expand on, we were talking about maybe doing some sort of doc series with the Amapiano scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the music is just naturally soulful in the sense that when you hear it, you get moved. You're like, why am I being moved? There's like another spirit in it, and you can't really put your finger on it, but it just comes from a very, very authentic origin, where we came from.
Well,
and you feel the connection.
I definitely know here, Jungle and Heru have been introducing more and more people to Amapiano all the time. So they've been adding that to the vibe, saying like it's more in a uplifting than just like the Afro beat.
Oh yeah, it is. The Afro and people try to conglomerate it and combine it. And there have been certain people in Detroit who've tried to package it and co-opt it to feed it to us, Afro Nation. But but you're gonna bring it in from the outside, but not necessarily in the authentic spirit it should be in. But it is a very real thing. And Afro beats is a different genre than Amapiano. Though they both come out of Africa, they come out in two different areas.
Yep.
Afrobeat is a primarily Nigerian thing. Amapiano is South Africa.
Okay.
And it's a distinctive different feel to it.
Okay.
Right? Let's see. So what I'm listening to, that's what I'm listening to primarily.
Okay, but any artist that stands out that I should look for?
Oh wow, let's see. The main guys the Major League DJs have been kind of the spearhead of the whole thing. Okay. So all this stuff has been banging.
Major League
DJs. Okay. Girl named Uncle Waffles.
Uncle Waffles.
Yeah.
Okay.
DB and Go-Go, another sister who's a DJ and producer. Oh my God, what's this little young girl's name? She's phenomenal too. And she may be the blow up artist too. My gosh, I'm forgetting her name right now, but she dances and sings. It's making me so mad. And there's another cat, Kesh. So there's, you go on YouTube, type in Amapiano, you're going to see a gang of stuff.
Okay. All right. And film. What was the last film or the film of this year that you were like, okay, I really like this one?
When I'm going to be working with this, going to be out, hopefully outside of just festivals. It's a documentary on Leadbelly, which was done by his family.
Okay.
So that's phenomenal. I'm big on docs.
Okay.
More than major films. I still have to see Sinners. I hear it's incredible.
Okay.
I haven't seen Sinners yet. So I'm always up for black films,
Yeah. You'll I know you're jazz. I like jazz, but I like blues more than jazz. So like
your blues? Yeah, okay. Well that's another one. Genre wise, the whole Southern Soul thing has been on fire.
Yeah, anybody that is anybody that's a fan of like especially that Mississippi Delta blues, like you see that relationship heavy in the movie Sinners, and a lot of those guys.
You're gonna love the documentary on Leadbelly there because he's like at the center of that.
Yeah, so like that like that what became House of Blues, but you're thinking that Mississippi, that Muddy Waters, love Bobby Bland.
Bobby Blue Bland, baby.
So, and then, like I said the music and the film. And now we just gonna close out with what other piece of culture? The food. What spot in food are you like, okay, I'm liking this place? And it could be wherever.
Look, first of all, coming from Detroit, you gotta like some level of soul food. My folks are from Alabama and Mississippi.
Got you.
I I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of disappointed at the lack of some stuff in Detroit these days.
I think that this is not the best era of soul food right now. Like, or I should put it like this: the soul food restaurant. It's some pop-ups and stuff. Shout out to Miss Keisha's Kitchen that won the Collard Green Cook-Off, and it's like food trucks out here and everything.
No question.
But like, it's not the, I always, people gonna be like, man, you keep talking about Aknar tunes. It was amazing when it was
right.
amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Stuff like that. It's just not, it's.
What was the place you made back in the day? Aunt Kizzy's back porch, stuff like that. But I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at Joe Louis spot.
Okay, Joe Louis is cool.
I'm not mad at Joe Louis.
Yeah. Joe Louis is cool. Okay.
I've hit a few places here and there, but yeah, this just, and it what's so funny is that there's this whole food renaissance going on now across the country. Everybody's talking food, this, food, that, Food Network. Chefs have become celebrities and
and a lot of different mixes of fusion.
Yeah.
So it's it's like this is you'll go to a place. It's like it's part Korean, part soul food.
Oh yeah, man, yeah.
Vegan, and it's like what?
It's definitely the hybrid era.
Yes.
But, what's my man? I got to give a shout out to my man on the west side with the Boogaloo sandwich.
I haven't even tried that.
Really?
No.
Brother DeAngelis put me onto them.
Okay. Shout out to Buddha.
Yep. Have him put you on to my man.
Okay.
Former musician, worked with a bunch of cats, knows a bunch of cats, but yeah, my man sandwiches.
Like, yo, I'm going in the kitchen.
My man sandwich is on point. What's he talking about? I want to say, he's off Wyoming.
Okay.
But yeah, bravo, bro. I ain't get to see you this go round yet, but I'm gonna catch you because it's off the hook. Yeah, it's off the hook.
All right, hey, that's already like a hook that you gonna get. There you go.
It is.
With that, as always, thank you so much.
All right, my man. Thank you. Looking forward to another 10, 11, 20 years.
Man, we shall see.
Right here in Detroit is different.
We shall see. I definitely did not think that I would be here. So I love doing this, and let's see what more culture we can keep stirring around the
No doubt.
With that, peace.
Detroit. Detroit.